I made this video to show you how I built a Jem Watercraft design 12-foot sit on top self-bailing kayak. With the plans in hand, I quickly got to work cutting out all of the parts and pieces. This took several days to cut out all the parts. The plans are really good and very detailed. Some of the smaller parts came with full-size templates. These were the scupper holes that water could drain through the cockpit. Here you see me starting to put together some of the interior parts underneath the seating area. The interior framework was quite complicated, and it took a long time to put together. Here you can see the bottom bilge panels getting glued together, and now we could finally mate the interior framework to the hull panels. Things were starting to take shape now, and it was getting really fun. That's some pretty serious plywood torture right there. Somewhere along the way, I decided to make the upper half of this boat out of cedar strips. I laid wax paper down on a sheet of wood and then stapled the strips down. After the glue dried, I ran them through a planer. Here we start the process of stitching all of the panels together. Yes, I drilled a whole bunch of holes in the boat, and it looked kind of funny. After the panels were glued together with a mixture of sawdust and epoxy, we were able to remove the zip ties and fiberglass the outside of the hole. After that, we flipped the boat over and started glassing the inside. The inside was done in two separate pieces to make it simpler. Things are really starting to come together quick now after the hole's fiberglassed. Can't wait to get to the next step. The deck panels are made and set on the boat to see what they would look like. I think it's going to look pretty good. The cockpit compartment gets temporarily put in place. I like the way this looks. Pretty neat fillets, if I must say. We went to Bass Pro Shops and got a seat. It was only $20. Here's the rear deck and the front deck. I decided to fiberglass the underside of the seating area before I put it together. There it is, fiberglassed. One of the hardest things to do was to cut holes in the bottom of the boat for the scuppers. After that, the decking was put on. This is when things really started to get cool. Holy moly, look at this thing. I could see a vision now. I could see what the end product was going to look like. It was an exciting time, for sure. And it was finally time for the first test paddle. Wow. This boat paddled so well. It was amazing. I wound up painting the bottom of the boat and the inside Kubota orange. I thought that would be a different kind of color to use. That's a nice fish. She turned out so beautiful. So let's fast forward about 5 years. It was time for a refinish. Brought the boat inside, sanded her down, gave it a new fresh coat of varnish, new hatches, new handles, a new seat, and we changed the color. We went with Hunter Green because Hunter Green was cheaper than Kubota Orange. And I like the green. I like the orange and I like the green. She sure did turn out nice. And then something really, really bad happened. I left the boat outside for a couple months and water leaked down through the fishing rod holders and got inside the boat. This was really bad. I wound up gutting the boat, completely stripping out all of the interior. Several spots on the bottom of the hull rotted out, and I wound up just cutting those sections out and replacing them with other new pieces of wood. This was pretty crazy. I also had to cut 2 feet off the back of the boat. So now this boat is not a kayak anymore, it's a canoe. Lots of clamps there. And I decided to add a little pirate on the floor of the boat. Now that I have a canoe instead of a kayak, it was time to go fishing. I actually like this boat a lot and really enjoy it. Here's a cool shot. Cool guy too. Okay, so let's talk about this boat for a minute. It doesn't look like it used to. Something really bad happened. So here it is. This is how it currently sets. Guess you probably noticed there's no bottom. It eventually got so much water damage that my foot was about to go through the floor. And so what we're gonna do is replace the bottom of the boat with all new stuff again. Anchor trolley still works. Should be interesting. I'll keep you posted.